It's like, you know, you have the probe or whatever.
Ryan Garcia teaming up with David Benavidez for the Mario Barrios fight is one of those gym stories that sounds cool on paper, but it's very differently once you understand what's really happening behind the scenes. This isn't just sparring for the cameras. This is Ryan absorbing real combat knowledge from a fighter who lives under pressure. Benavidez has been guiding him through the Philly shell. Not the flashy Instagram version, but the gritty, functional one that lets you slip shots in tight spaces and fire back without resetting your feet.
Now, let's talk about this footage where David Benavidez is throwing strikes at Ryan, and Ryan is trying to do the silly shell, trying to roll his shoulder, and then return with an uppercut, just like we said in the war room. If he can perfect the silly shell, everybody's going to be in a world of hurt. If he perfects it, because he has the hand-eye coordination and reflexes to make you miss like that. If he perfects it as far as punching out of it with an uppercut, you don't see him throw uppercuts like that. Like bam, bam. If he perfected jab and dip, jab, left hook. If he perfected, he's a problem.
That matters for Ryan because it gives him answers when speed alone isn't enough. And then there was the speed challenge that raised eyebrows across the gym. Ryan is known as one of the fastest fighters in boxing, yet here was David, much bigger, keeping pace, matching reactions, and staying right there. That's not normal. That's elite genetics mixed with insane timing.
It's crazy how David Benavidez, as a cruiserweight, can even keep up with Ryan Garcia as a welterweight. And really, Ryan Garcia is the fastest fighter in the game. And still, David Benavidez, Ryan Garcia doing a speed challenge, and David Benavidez is keeping up.
You could feel Ryan's respect shift in real time. Like, okay, this guy moves like that at this size. Training with someone who can pressure you, match your speed, and still think while throwing volume is exactly what Ryan needs before facing a durable, composed fighter like Barrios.
Listen, Ryan Garcia is faster than David Benavidez, and he should be. And Ryan Garcia being as fast as he is, I just think it's more impressive to me that the Mexican monster.
This camp isn't about showing off. It's about sharpening Ryan's instincts under fire. And when you see Ryan absorbing those lessons instead of trying to outshine them, that's when you know this preparation is different.
It's like, you know, you have the probe or whatever.
2-6 right after Ryan explains the illusion, misdirection, and magician at work angle, almost daring you to guess where the real grind is happening. Joe Goosen steps in and completely changes the temperature. Now you're not hearing from a fighter protecting mystique. You're hearing from a coach protecting principle. When Goosen talks about being stunned, he doesn't sound bitter. He sounds genuinely confused, like someone who believed respect was still the default language in boxing. He's not firing shots at Ryan Garcia. He's talking about loyalty, work ethic, and how absurd it would be to turn down training a reigning champion like Mario Barrios.
The call for Mario Barrios was like, what fool would turn that down?
Right.
You know?
Right.
I mean,
Naturally.
it would be absurd. Well, look, Ryan could be breaking down, looking at a fight, breaking down the tape. He's no dummy. These guys all look at each other and say, oh, if I only got in the ring with him, I could capitalize on this or that. I'm not going to give Ryan any idea.
That's old school logic colliding with new school drama. Goosen keeps bringing it back to class, even referencing how Barrios handled himself against Manny Pacquiao. He's showing you what kind of fighter earns respect before earning time. When he breaks down defense, tightening screws, eliminating mistakes. That's Goosen in his natural habitat. Less talk, more structure. He even slips in the Rolando Romero example without bragging, reminding everyone that boxing punishes habits, not personalities.
But, you know, again, we're both working to the same goal. You want to tighten the screws on the defense to where it's almost impenetrable. Okay? And then, you know, that's the first rule of order, is to get that defense tight. Because at the top of the game, these guys are offensively really accurate.
What really stands out is how Goosen refuses to live in the comment section or play internet boxing. He stays locked into the gym, the craft, and the lineage. Ryan's side feels built on mirrors and momentum. Goosen's side feels like blueprints and muscle memory. Two completely different energies, neither accidental. This isn't a soap opera about betrayal. It's a collision between modern boxing chaos and old-school boxing code. One thrives on noise, the other on structure. When those philosophies meet on fight night, you don't get excuses, you get answers.
How hard you work on it, sometimes you just get caught in the wrong spot, you know, defensively.
You know,
To put a final cap on it, Marcus, it's just that you try to limit the mistakes you make and limit the opportunities defensively that you give your opponent. You have to limit those to you know, zero if you can do that.
Right after Goosen wraps everything in discipline and structure, Henry Garcia, Ryan's father, jumps in and the tone shifts again. Now it's not about blueprints. It's about belief, memory, and unfinished business. You hear it immediately when Henry brings up the amateur history between Ryan Garcia and Shakur Stevenson. For him, boxing isn't just rounds and records. It's grudges that never expire. And that mindset explains how he approaches the Barrios fight. He doesn't downplay Barrios at all. He keeps emphasizing preparation, height pressure, and mental readiness. Clear signs he knows Barrios is no walkthrough. When Henry says Ryan listens to him, that's not comedy. That's hierarchy.
Do you feel like it would be hard to find sparring partners for a style like Mario Barrios?
No, not at all. I seen how he fights, you know, and it's nice. I mean, it's good. I respect all boxers, you know, but it's not gonna be hard to find sparring partners, you know. Just gotta have the same height, you know, as he is, and that's it. Just go from there. But Ryan's tall too, so it's gonna be nice.
That's a father reminding you who has a final voice when everything else gets stripped away. I like how he frames Barrios as a real test. No hype, no fear, just someone you must be fully prepared for. No shortcuts, no excuses. He even shuts down the idea of personal life bleeding into fight night. Once the bell rings, none of that matters. That's a hard line, but it's a fighter's line. Goosen talks like a surgeon. Henry talks like a guardian. One minimizes mistakes. The other keeps Ryan mentally aligned and aggressive. And that's exactly where this fight lives, in between.
Now you have Barrios, you had Devin Haney too at 47. First things first, you know, we got to get through Barrios, and Barrios you know, he's just somebody you got to, you know, be well prepared for, you know.
In the comments here, did the divorce affect Ryan at all?
Did the what?
The divorce.
Well, he isn't divorced.
Okay.
He isn't divorced.
Then Andre Dirrell steps in and flips the conversation from belief to blueprint. This is where it gets uncomfortable in the best way. Andre isn't attacking Ryan, he's dissecting him. When he calls Ryan a renegade, it makes sense. That's been both his superpower and his weakness. Ryan fights on instinct more than script. Against someone like Mario Barrios, that leads to fireworks or a very long night. Andre keeps stressing the same point. Speed and power win moments, but fundamentals win fights, especially against someone built to stay upright and ask questions late. Barrios is exactly that kind of fighter.
Ryan does beat Barrios.
Do you think he beats? Do you think he beats him first?
If he does, it's gonna be because of his speed. He wasn't. Let me pause for a second. My 10%. I got time, probably. If he does beat him, it's gonna be because of his speed matched with his power, and he possibly puts Mario Barrios down. Right. My thing with Ryan is this, man. He never has a game plan. He promises the left hook. He's gonna give you the left hook. You never really see him set up shots. You see him more so just executing and then backing out and then executing again, backing.
Andre's breakdown lands because it's honest. If Ryan wins, it's likely something dramatic happens early. A knockdown, a momentum shift, a speed shock. But if that doesn't land clean, Barrios' discipline starts stacking rounds quietly. The kind judges love and highlight reels ignore. Andre frames it as a true coin flip. Not hype, not dismissal, just styles colliding. Spontaneity versus structure. Instinct versus repetition. Talent without a consistent plan becomes predictable under pressure. And predictable gets punished slowly.
Well, he's sort of like a renegade when it comes to boxing, man. He's just gonna get in the ring. He's just gonna, if you shoot, I'm shooting. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's who Ryan is. I think Barrios is really solid in the fundamentals. Like, he's a fundamental boxer first, right? So that can get him past and lead him to winning this fight just off the fundamentals, man. So I don't really know. That's a 50-50 for me.
Put all together and the picture gets clear fast. Ryan Garcia isn't drifting. He's stacking perspectives. Pressure lessons from Benavidez, structure from Goosen, belief from Henry Garcia, and Andre Dirrell standing outside the noise, reminding everyone that fundamentals always collect rent. Right in the middle of it all sits Mario Barrios, calm, durable, and perfectly comfortable letting chaos burn itself out. That's why this fight doesn't feel like hype anymore. It feels like a test. Speed, confidence, and volatility versus patience, discipline, and round-by-round control. No villains, no shortcuts. Just two philosophies colliding under bright lights.
Anything that's has to do with marriage, whether it's an argument or a separation or, like you said, divorce, it's going to affect the boxer somewhat, you know, but a professional boxer should know that that's his job, what he has to do, and he's got to really put everything aside and just focus on what's at hand. And that's something that you don't want to use as an excuse to say, you know, the only thing that you could use for an excuse if something happened during training camp that still is carrying over the fight.
Drop your take in the comments. Let's really talk about it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Punch Power. See you in the next one on Coming Fistfire.